On Upfront, the second big news break here on Times Now of the day. Remember, at around 4:45, Navika Kumar and myself brought to you a re-altering political breaking development. Now, at 8 p.m., we bring you a story about a chief minister of no less a state than the Union capital, who was on the verge of looting the public. The story we are breaking tonight is of one of breach of public trust of the most monumental proportions. It's a story that exposes once and for all that Arvind Kejriwal is not a defender of the rights of the Aam Aadmi as he proclaims himself to be so loudly.
In fact, in my hands are the documents here that prove that Kejriwal was actually on the verge of bending, misrepresenting every rule and regulation to ensure that the taxpayers of the Union capital would end up paying for his legal bills amounting to around 4 crore rupees on account of his alleged misdemeanors. This document is the legal opinion of the the additional Solicitor General, who has exposed the attempted fraud made. This document by Sanjay Kumar Jain. Sanjay Jain, he is the additional Solicitor General. This document dated 6th of April 2007. And first, let me just go to the conclusion that this document points out at. This document says, in the light of the above facts, the circumstances, in my opinion, public money cannot be used to appoint special counsels to defend the Honorable Chief Minister for the statements made by him in his personal capacity, and the proposal to this effect should not be approved by the Honorable Lieutenant Governor. This is signed by Sanjay Jain, the additional Solicitor General of India, who has given this very important opinion to the Lieutenant Governor. In fact, on this page is very clear, the queryist is the Honorable Lieutenant Governor, who had sought this opinion from Sanjay Jain, the additional Solicitor General. And there is the big writing on the wall that Arvind Kejriwal was actually trying to scam taxpayers in New Delhi, scam taxpayers of 4 crore rupees that he was wanting to pay Ram Jethmalani, the senior counsel. He engaged on public account for his personal defamation cases.
Yes, Times Now has repeatedly exposed politicians and VVIPs who have tried to serve their own interests first. Let me summon the hard facts that underline this claim in the context of the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Hard fact 1. Top law officer of the government has opined that Kejriwal can't use public money to foot his legal bills. Hard fact 2. AAP government violated several rules to appoint Jethmalani as Chief Minister's counsel without approval of the Delhi Lieutenant Governor. Yes, without approval. Hard fact 3. AAP ignored the advice of its own law department and general administrative department. Navika Kumar will now take us through on the first breaking angle, the exact opinion of the additional Solicitor General, Mr. Jain. Navika, let's draw up that paragraph.
Well, it's very clear through these documents that have been given by additional Solicitor General, and he says very clearly that there is no question. Look at the queries that were asked of the additional Solicitor General. The first question that had been sought from him, whether the elected government is right in its perception that the statements which are subject matter of defamation were made by the Honorable Chief Minister in his official capacity. To this, the additional Solicitor General has very clearly said that it is noteworthy that Mr. Arun Jaitley has sued in his personal capacity and not as finance minister of the union or as a dignitary, and further that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal stands impleaded in his individual capacity only and not in that as a chief minister. That's the opinion from the additional Solicitor General. He also says it is the elected government's claim the statements which are subject matter of defamation were made by the Honorable Chief Minister in his official capacity, and therefore the appointment of Shri Ram Jethmalani is justified as the government of the Delhi is duty bound to provide a good lawyer to the Chief Minister. To my mind, it has been left vague, deliberately or otherwise, as to whether proposed engagement is for the High Court case or the criminal case that is pending before the Patiala High Court. So it is very clear the additional Solicitor General has said that it is in the personal capacity that Mr. Arun Jaitley has filed this defamation case against Arvind Kejriwal, and it is in his personal capacity that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal will need to respond.
It's all summed up on the screens, the opinion. There it is in that graphic. And I want to first, before we go to the other aspects, because this is going to become bigger as we proceed into the show, because we will break down the hard facts that I first pointed out, that certain rules have been bent. That part we're going to tell you in just a few moments. I just want to go straight across to Ravi Srivastava, founding member of the Aam Aadmi Party, Alimuddin Khan, political analyst, and Gaurav Bhatia first, the leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I want to first come straight out to you, Mr. Srivastava. Here is a chief minister who says that he acts on behalf of the public, that he is the Aam Aadmi's representative. And this man seems to be serving his own interests at the expense of the Aam Aadmi. How does this work, sir?
I think this story has been repeated. It was earlier displayed around a month before or so.
No. I need to correct you.
Yeah.
This is the opinion that has for the first time been brought out on Times Now.
At that moment, let me finish. No, one second. Srivastava, Mr. Srivastava, let me first, look, we deal in hard facts on this show. That's why it's called India Upfront. Now, 1 second. What did we break earlier? We broke that there was an attempt made by Mr. Kejriwal to fob off this bill onto the public.
Right.
He, in fact, told the LG via letter which we accessed that the public must be paying for Mr. Jethmalani, Ram Jethmalani, who is representing him in a case of defamation, both criminal and civil, that has been filed by the finance minister. That's what we broke. Today, we are breaking the government's legal officials' opinion on that demand. And he says that this is ultra-virus, that you cannot be making this demand. Imagine, sir, had the LG signed off, the public would have been paying 4 crores because Mr. Kejriwal misrepresented the case, which we will expose a little later. But I just want to first ask you, how can a chief minister who is supposed to be acting in the interests, who promises that he's an Aam Aadmi CM first, that he represents the Aam Aadmi, his party is called Aam Aadmi Party, he is now fleecing the Aam Aadmi?
Rahul, you are again singling out a person. I'm repeatedly
How am I singling out the person?
You are singling out a person.
The person...
I told you earlier debate also that there's a Shivraj Singh Chauhan against a similar defamation case. He is using an advocate who is being paid 11 lakh rupees per sitting.
Why don't you bring out the documents and expose him?
He's making that payment.
I am only asking you that this...
Okay, now I come to your question now.
No, 1 second. You don't obfuscate. Please, I request you not to address the issue, sir.
Okay.
One individual has been caught out. His attempt at defrauding the exchequer is exposed. Now, you tell me, sir, very, very clearly, doesn't this completely divest of Mr. Kejriwal this halo that he has built around his head, that he is in Aam Aadmi's defender? Simple question.
Okay. You are trying to say that Kejriwal has worked against the opinion given by the additional Solicitor General.
No,
right?
sir, you are getting deliberately. I think
the
no,
opinion has come afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had already appointed Ram Jethmalani.
Absolutely.
Now the opinion tells you whether he was right in appointing Ram Jethmalani or not.
Okay.
And let
So
me
now you have
read
found
out to you.
Now you have found it that it was irregular.
Let me read out. Let me read out what the opinion, legal opinion says. It says, therefore, it necessarily follows that the statements made by the Honorable Chief Minister must have been made as part of his duty, and such duty should have been official in nature. As juxtaposed, it so transpired the statements were made by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal were made on his personal Twitter account and not through an official forum or a channel.
Yes.
Personal Twitter account statements. The statements so have no connection to the official public duties of the office of the Chief Minister and are distinctly in his individual personal capacity, expressing his personal view on a subject matter unrelated to his function as Chief Minister. He has retweeted not as Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi but only as a regular Twitter user. Therefore, the statements made by Arvind Kejriwal are at the most an expression of opinion in his private capacity. Why is he passing the bill on to the Delhi taxpayer for his private opinion?
But first of all, has he passed it? Has the money been paid?
No, sir.
This is what you tell me.
The bill has been raised. The bill has been raised.
It has been raised only. It has not been paid. That's what I'm saying.
But his department has okayed it.
Another thing, what somebody writes on a personal Twitter account and what is his official stand or an opinion or on a piece of paper, these are two different things.
Okay,
So
one
you
second.
can defame people on Twitter accounts.
One second.
You can defame people on Twitter accounts.
Is he tweeting as a Chief Minister?
I think Mr. Bhatia, no, one second. Mr. Bhatia is also a lawyer. Mr. Bhatia, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, is a lawyer. Let me also bring him first in his legal capacity. Mr. Bhatia, the defense coming from the Aam Aadmi Party side is very simple. You are gunning for one individual. I'm only asking a basic question. If the ASG has come out, Sanjay Jain has come out and said that you cannot have the state pay for a private indiscretion, the state meaning the taxpayer, pay for your private indiscretion, what does that say about Arvind Kejriwal?
Will you kindly ask him that why did he pay for Shivraj Singh Chauhan? Does he know that? Is he aware of that?
But I'll ask him.
Under the similar circumstances, how it has been paid over there?
Has the governor of Madhya Pradesh questioned that? Have you brought out the document?
Nothing.
What is the document? It's in public domain.
Here, everything is documented,
It's in
sir.
public domain. You ask him. Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
Let him answer. Let him answer. He wants to answer.
Let me answer,
Give him the
Rahul. You've asked me a very pertinent question. Let me answer. Yeah. First of all, on the legal aspect, and then I would also like to comment on the political aspect. Going by the legal aspect, everyone knows that Delhi has a special status. And there is a constitutional authority to keep a check on the duly elected government, which is the Lieutenant Governor. The numbers that we are looking at, retainership of 1 crore rupees, per appearance fees of 22 lakh rupees. I am a lawyer. I can tell you this is on the higher side. As special engagement was being made for a lawyer, it was imperative and it was the duty of the Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, to take the approval of the Lieutenant Governor. This is what the Delhi High Court has also held in its ruling. So this is illegality number one. Number two, AAP was born to fight corruption. That was their motto. And today Arvind Kejriwal and his entire team,
Mr. Bhatia, 5th August
symbolic of corruption today.
There was a
for the reason, this is not a, don't do that. If you shout, I'll shout louder. You will not be able to sing my voice. Let me tell you, this is not the first case where public funds have been misused. Even earlier you were reprimanded. The Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, was reprimanded because he used hundreds of crores of taxpayers' money to give ads. So let me first tell you that you can't use and abuse your power.
You are making a baseless charge,
public funds. You can't do it. And when now additional Solicitor General has given his opinion, and this opinion would have a lot of persuasive value for the Lieutenant Governor. You would be red-faced very soon when the Lieutenant Governor exercising his power
Bhatia,
will not
you must
approve
have
the
been
bill.
defending
But
Akhilesh
I am
Yadav
more worried
also 3
about
months
the issue
before
of
like this.
accountability.
I am not going to
Mr.
comment on
Arvind
that.
Kejriwal
Today you are in a different
has
seat.
not,
So you are
has
talking
not
this.
given any
But let's not
version
get personal.
accounting for this huge sum of money. That is the most unfortunate part. That is the most unfortunate.
Mr. Bhatia, there are
public servant has to account for every penny
there are
of
people who
taxpayers'
can
money.
give the opinion.
Here we are talking about crore. Why are you interrupting in between? Are you so disturbed by my arguments that you
1100
have to
crores
interrupt in between
with Prime
and not
Minister
hear
spent
your
on the
fellow
personal
panelists?
publicity? Whose money is that?
So can't you wait
Can
for
you
your
tell
turn?
me? 1100 crores.
How can
spent
you-
by the
Okay, one
Prime
second.
You have
I'm
Minister.
just one
engaged
second,
somebody for
gentlemen, one second.
Did you even
in two
take
points, Mr. Bhatia,
Delhi
sum up
is
your
a
argument in 2
Delhi
points.
has a
Come.
special status under the
1 minute, let him
Constitution of
finish.
India. My arguments is first, Delhi has a special status under the Constitution. Anything that the Chief Minister and the Cabinet does has to mandatorily get approval from the Lieutenant Governor, which wasn't done. Number 2 is a special
point one.
engagement, and that too spending rupees 1 crore and 22 lakh per appearance and no approval itself shows that there is no accountability, and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has misused public funds like he did earlier.
Okay,
when
one
he
second.
gave
I want to go back. 1 second, gentlemen. Please. I need to, listen, we need to go deeper into this.
These are the 2 points.
There are others. 1 second, gentlemen. There are 2 charges that are being made by the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'll give you 10 minutes to respond to them, but after this second breaking angle. Navika, this gets worse because rules have been overlooked and advice has been ignored. We're going to put out that right now. Rule 5.2D of transaction of business rules. What does it say? No department shall without let's put out that graphic. No department shall without previous concurrence of finance department issue any order which may have a financial bearing, whether involving expenditure or otherwise. It was overlooked. We're going to put out that graphic. That first basic rule overlooked. First transgression. Navika, here it says, what it says, Rule 5.2D of transaction of business rules. There it is on our screens. No department shall without previous concurrence of finance department issue any order which may have a financial bearing, whether involving expenditure or otherwise. It was overlooked. Let's look at Rule 2. Delhi High Court verdict in the GNCT of Delhi versus Union of India. What it says, we are of the considered view that it is mandatory under constitutional scheme to communicate the decision of Council of Ministers to LG. Again overlooked. So it seems that there was one person's opinion that was prevailing here. Overlooked, sir. Overlooked. No, 1 second. No, don't get excited.
Carry
1
on,
second.
carry on.
Advice of the Delhi Law Department. What it says, the proposal should require the prior concurrence. The prior concurrence of the Finance Department as well as the approval of the Honorable LG. Ignored. Ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, ignored. Third transgression. Office Memorandum dated 02/03/2016. What it says, secretaries can accord sanction in respect of fees of special counsels who are in the approval panel of law and judicial department up to a total of 10 lakhs per year. This is the point that Gaurav Bhatia was making, Navika.
Absolutely, and it's all documented here in this opinion. Here, what does Sanjay Jain say? He says, in defiance of the transaction of business rules and the judgment of the Honorable High Court of Delhi as well as the advice of the Law Department dated 7th of December 2016, the Minister of Law and Justice and Legislative Affairs in this case, who happens to be the Deputy Chief Minister, Manish Sisodia, took out a standing order. And what does the standing order say? That this order is being passed to overcome the cumbersome approvals at different levels. So you find any approvals on financial transactions as extremely cumbersome. So take out your own order. So what if it's in defiance of the Delhi transaction of business rules and the Delhi High Court judgments? You keep taking out your orders. And what does the entire statement talk about? Again, the opinion says it is clear that the said standing order was issued without the approval of the Honorable Lieutenant Governor. Further, it said the standing order was in violation of Rule 5.2D of the Transaction of Business Rules, as it tried to do away with the prior concurrence of the Finance Department required for any proposal having a financial bearing. That is what is written in this opinion by the Additional Solicitor General. And then what does he go on to say? He goes on to say further that in this case, councils who are not on the approval panel of Law and Judicial Department up to the total of 10 lakh rupees per year. As the fees of Shri Ram Jethmalani would be in the tune of crores, the approval of the finance department was imperative.
That's
the word here given by the additional solicitor general is imperative.
Imperative.
Mr. Ravi
But it did not happen.
Imperative tha.
It didn't
लिया
happen.
नहीं approval.
First of all, let
सारे
me tell you,
पैसे टैक्सपेयर्स के
He
अरविंद
is a-
केजरीवाल के हैं,
he
मनीष
is-
सिसोदिया के हैं.
he is an elected chief minister.
So he can-
and subsequent
so he
to
can
your,
squander money
subsequent
of
to
the
your-
taxpayers.
Subsequent to
No, no,
your
let
so-called
me
expose,
distinguish.
he
Let me
went
distinguish.
right to the public forum.
No,
He
let me-
Public forum doesn't decide. Law decides.
took a
Law
mandate from
decides
them
and rules
that who should
decide,
pay
sir.
for this.
I will
And the public-
distinguish.
Law
You
decides,
know,
sir, and rules.
Argument is no
Transaction
leg.
of business rules
let me
and the
explain,
laws
Rahul.
decide.
Rahul,
Okay, one second. No, one second. Gentlemen,
Gentlemen,
one second. I don't want this to be... No, one second. We are sticking to the facts.
If there is anything
Swati
wrong,
Chaturvedi...
let the law take
One minute, sir, 1 minute. Swati
Let somebody handle
Chaturvedi...
it.
Relax, sir. It's not about the law taking its course. It's about correcting a procedure that has been deliberately...
it's about propriety, accountability and propriety, Rahul.
Yeah, one second. Swati Chaturvedi, author and journalist, also
That's
joins
very
this
much
panel.
intact,
One second.
Gaurav Bhatia, don't worry.
1 second, sir. 1 second. Don't get aggravated. Let's be calm. We are only going deeper.
Why should I be worried? We are just
Swati
having a
Chaturvedi,
debate.
what
On
is-
merits,
what is
we
your-
might prove our point.
Okay, one
There's
second.
no reason to
What
get
is-
agitated.
What is
That's
your
what I'm
point
saying,
of view?
Gaurav Bhatia.
Do you believe...
If
1
there is
second.
anywhere law is violated,
Am I addressing
law
you,
will
sir?
take care of
I'm not
that.
addressing
Don't
you.
worry about
Neither
it.
am I addressing Gaurav Bhatia. I'm trying to bring in Swati Chaturvedi. Give me 30 seconds. Let's give her the opportunity.
I am
to
worried.
also
I am
speak.
worried as a citizen. I am worried because you're siphoning funds of
please.
taxpayer.
Let's just
for
show
your personal
an other
consumption. So I
panelist
am a worried
some...
person.
1 second, please. I don't want
I
this
don't
to
know why
become
he's making
a...
comments.
1 second.
Why is not worried
1
about the
second.
Vyapam?
Swati Chaturvedi is
Public
also...
money.
1 second, please. Swati Chaturvedi also joins the panel. Swati Chaturvedi, very simply this. We have an issue here. We have an individual who is trying to, perhaps, with some deliberation, fob off his legal expenses on the hapless taxpayer. Has he lost a bit of sheen? Has Arvind Kejriwal lost a bit of sheen? Or would you say this is some sort of witch hunt, etc., etc.?
Well, Rahul, both of what you said is correct. There is a bit of a Caesar's wife thing here. That, Arvind Kejriwal has always maintained that he was like the paragon of, virtue, completely non-corrupt, and everybody else was politics as usual. It is totally politics as usual, but unfortunately, it appears from your story that clearly there has been some kind of a, misdemeanor here. But there is, of course, the whole acrimonious relationship between the Delhi government and the central government is very well known. So I'm quite surprised that, that they even tried to get approvals, because it is fairly well known that nothing that Arvind Kejriwal wants is actually ever approved of by the LG or by the centre. So, I wish that...
But Swati Chaturvedi, does that mean...
Yeah.
Does that mean that Arvind Kejriwal can use taxpayers' money to get legal counsels who charge 1 crore as a retainer and 22 lakhs per appearance, like Ram Jethmalani, on public exchequer expenditure for his own personal defamation cases? Just because he's having a run-in with the central government doesn't allow him to fleece the taxpayers' money.
Let me answer, Navika. Obviously, Arvind Kejriwal is like any other citizen of India, allowed to have any lawyer that he wants to defend him in court. I mean, that is any citizen's right. Whether he gets Ram Jethmalani for a no bail or for whatever price, it is a matter that Arvind Kejriwal has to take a call on. What is important here is that the taxpayer should not be paying for Arvind Kejriwal's personal legal bills. I'm not entirely sure that what you've just established is that that's happened. And I mean, I really don't think we should be commenting whether he gets Ram Jethmalani or anybody. That's entirely Arvind Kejriwal's call, whoever he gets to defend himself.
No. There is one second. I need to take a break. I just need to take a break. No, 1 second. Listen. 1 second. I need to take a break here. But as we unravel, as we peel more layers of this onion, you will perhaps realize that there was a motivated attempt to try and get the legal fees paid by the taxpayer. So we are unraveling this. We'll come back with another breaking dimension. This is getting a little more inconvenient for Arvind Kejriwal by the minute. We come back. Don't go away.
आज हम योगा में ट्विस्ट लाएंगे, साथ में अनार का जूस बनाकर, ब्लेंड आसना, उबाल आसना। अब इस कॉन्सेंट्रेट में पानी मिलाकर पतला करो और जूस तैयार। ज्यादातर पैकेट जूसेस ऐसे ही तो बनते हैं कॉन्सेंट्रेट से, जिनमें है कम न्यूट्रिशन। पर बी नेचुरल का नया 100% पोमेग्रेनेट जूस बनता है सीधे 25 अनार के पल्प से, कोई कॉन्सेंट्रेट से नहीं। बी नेचुरल 100% पोमेग्रेनेट जूस फ्रॉम ITC। सिर्फ जूस, नो एक्सक्यूज।
Beyond the TV news space. Beyond geographical boundaries, the wave of Times Now's virtual presence is spreading with the fastest growing digital footprint and unmatched social media impact. No channel in the world leads the global conversation like Times Now. Times Now. Action begins here.
No one knows their true metal until it's been tested. Until it emerges from the fiery chasm of experience, as it flows through the true course of credibility. Until it gives form to raw insights, striking every lead with full force on the anvil of journalistic integrity. Fortifying your trust with our principles and values. We know our true metal because you've tested it. Times Now. Action begins here.
National security is a subject which everybody pays lip service to, but few people really stand up for it. All this stuff about good relations between neighbors is hogwash. Do what you want, you will have hostility with Pakistan because their best bonding adhesive is anti-Indianism, and Kashmir is a symbol of that. In many of my debates, I am seen to be aggressively countering the lies and falsehoods. Your fingerprints are all over the 2611 case. I'm not saying it, Director CIA says it. You have to be well versed with facts and completely abreast of developments. The National Security Advisor is giving evidence. You sacked him because he said Ajmal Kasab was a Pakistani. Confront the truth and move on. Once projected in all accuracy, it leaves the other side flustered.
No one knows their true metal until it's been tested. Until it emerges from the fiery chasm of experience, as it flows through the true course of credibility. Until it gives form to raw insights, striking every lead with full force on the anvil of journalistic integrity. Fortifying your trust with our principles and values. We know our true metal because you've tested it. Times Now. Action begins here.
We have taken the Kulbhushan Jadhav matter to the International Court of Justice. Now we've got an interim order from there where we get a sense that Pakistan is in no mood to honor the order of the International Court of Justice. Will we get Kulbhushan Jadhav back?
The manner in which his trial has been conducted doesn't inspire confidence at all. India therefore took the correct legal and constitutional position and enforced the covenant of the Vienna Convention.
Frankly Speaking with Jaitley, this weekend on Times Now.
A few days back, this channel had exposed an attempt that was trying to be made by Arvind Kejriwal to get the taxpayer to pay his legal bills, almost amounting to 4 crores. Those were racked up, of course, by Ram Jethmalani. Subsequently, we were told that a very strong case existed for the state, for the taxpayer to pay the bills of Mr. Kejriwal, and that the Lieutenant Governor should forthwith sign off so that we, the taxpayer, you, ladies and gentlemen, would have to foot the bill for Mr. Kejriwal's alleged indiscretions. Now it turns out, and there's already a finger of some sort of dissidence here in our studios. Now it turns out that the legal officer of the government says that this move is palpably illegal. And we can take you to another element which only underlines this. Let's break, 1 second, let's break the third aspect. There's a precedence for this. The Supreme Court verdict in the state of Orissa versus Ganesh Chandra Jio says that section 197(1) doesn't extend its protective cover to every act or omission done by a public servant. Very important. So there is no automatic right that Mr. Kejriwal has, Navika, to seek a defense. He cannot just assume that the state will bail him out every time he commits some sort of indiscretion. Here it says section 197(1) doesn't extend its protective cover to every act of omission done by a public servant. It's on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. The ASG's opinion says statements made by Kejriwal on his personal Twitter account, statements not made through an official forum or channel, statements have no connection to the official duties of the Chief Minister, and Kejriwal retweeted not as CM but also as a regular Twitter user. So this was very private. In fact, there was an admission that has been made in these pages, Navika, where he says both the civil as well as criminal proceedings are similar in nature and private in character. This is what has been said by Mr. Kejriwal, and the ASG's opinion is very clear on this matter. According to Kejriwal, he is being sued in his private capacity. Kejriwal defending the case in his individual capacity alone. That is what he ought to be doing.
That's right. In fact, this is what the legal opinion says. He says that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has opted to comment upon the affairs of a society and its erstwhile office bearer, which is not called upon to be so commented in the ordinary course of his executive administrative functions as the Chief Minister of the NCT of Delhi, either by virtue of Article 239AA of the Constitution of India or for that matter under any provisions of the GNCTD Act or the rules framed thereunder as discussed in the latter part of this opinion. I may add that the pleadings of the civil and the criminal case pertaining to defamation had not been received by me, but I have been able to obtain a copy from the internet, and every single word in this has been opined that all the utterances made by Arvind Kejriwal were not through an official statement, not through an official channel, it was not through a notification, it was through his personal
Navika, can I just come and add to it, please?
That is where the personal nature of this utterances come in. Gaurav Bhatia.
Yeah. Navika, I will add to it just to say that you were referring to section 197 of Code of Criminal Procedure, and the other panelists, I think Swati ji also made a point. The distinction and the test is whether the person has uttered these words while he was discharging official functions or not. But Kejriwal ji is in a habit of using a public office for political gains and personal gains. And let me tell you, before the Delhi High Court also, the Delhi High Court
Alimuddin Khan, 1 second. Alimuddin Khan.
Why do you people get disturbed in between? You know, when I'm making a point, why do you get so disturbed that you have to interrupt? जब आपका मौका आएगा आप बोलिएगा अलीमुद्दीन जी, मेरी पहले बात हो जाने चाहिए पूरी, क्या बात बोल रहा हूँ सुन लीजिए. It was, please अलीमुद्दीन जी, ये बात ठीक नहीं है. आज अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को आप इतना प्यार करने लगे कि उनका जो करप्शन है, जो गलत काम वो कर रहे हैं, उनको आप डिफेंड करने लगे. मेरी बात पूरी नहीं हुई थी. पहले आप मेरी बात सुनिए, उसके बाद अरविंद केजरीवाल को आप डिफेंड करिएगा. वो अगर आपकी आपकी ड्यूटी आप करिए, पहले मेरी बात पूरी हो जाने दीजिए, चिल्लाने की जरूरत नहीं है। प्लीज लेट मी कंप्लीट माय पॉइंट। मिस्टर अरविंद केजरीवाल
जिनको आपने चीफ मिनिस्टर कैंडिडेट बनाया और अब गवर्नर बना के भेज दिया। अरे सर, ये काम तो आप ही करते हैं, ये बीजेपी का काम है।
He targeted political opponents and he indulged in glorification. That is what the panel and committee has said. How can a chief minister?
Gentlemen, look, I'm going to open the call-in lines and I'm going to bring in a private citizen's voice here. One second. I'm going to bring in Mr. Bejon Mishra. One second. I'm going to open the call-in lines. Let's ask the people. Let's ask the people if they actually believe. No, one second. One second. Should the people of this country be paying Kejriwal's legal bills? Simple question. Especially when, when the cases he is fighting. One second, sir.
What for Kejriwal?
I am posing the question. One second, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. He has admitted, according to Kejriwal, he is being sued in his private capacity, sir. Sir, Mr. Srivastava, please let me, I'll tell you, I'll answer your question if you allow me to answer. The question is, both the civil as well as criminal proceedings are similar in nature and private in character. This has been expressly stated by Mr. Ram Jethmalani in a court of law. Both the civil as well as criminal proceedings are similar in nature and private in character. So if they are private in character and Mr. Ram Jethmalani is admitting to this fact in court, then how can he be charging the poor taxpayer of this country? Because if he does things in private and in private capacity, why should the liability have to be borne by the poor, unsuspecting taxpayer? Sir, 1 minute. I want to go across to Bejon.
Why should he inquire to DDCA corruption?
Sir, that is what he has admitted. He has admitted in court. He has admitted in court. I am not saying this. He is saying it. He is admitted in court. So if you make an admission that this is a private character, the entire case, and my remarks are private in character, then, well, you better pay in a private capacity for your own expenses. You should have thought about it then. If you couldn't afford a lawyer and expenses around Jethmalani. No, it's not about that. He has actually given an invoice. No, he has submitted an invoice. That is also disproved. 1 minute.
But he has not been paid.
No, 1 second. Bejon Mishra, sir. That doesn't matter, sir. It's about impropriety. Bejon Mishra, I want to come out to you, sir. What do you believe? Because I'm asking our public to also call in and tell us. What do you believe, sir? Are we being unfair?
I firmly believe that anything which is personal in nature needs to be done through his own resources rather than public money. You see, it is the intent. You know what you have exposed today is the intent. You have established that the intent was wrong. He was trying to bypass the laws and the regulations to gratify some of his friends and to protect himself in turn by
gratification, sir?
In the use of public money. So it is very clear. Yeah, gratification.
Ram Jethmalani is not his person
for engaging. Why are you silencing the voice of a citizen? He's a citizen. He's not aligned to any political party. He's making a statement. I want to 1 second. The question, sir. No, Bejon Saab, the question is very simple. It's a baseline question. Should we be paying for the legal expenses of Mr. Kejriwal? That's the single line question. Should the people pay for Kejriwal's expenses, legal expenses? Very simple. There's nothing complicated about the question.
Also at the same time.
But sir, that was a statement made allegedly in his own official capacity. This is made in a private capacity.
I'm very happy you have come out. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you have exposed with evidences that even the legal
Kailash calling from Mumbai. I want to hear the people, and we are inviting the people onto this show. Tell us, sirs, tell us, ma'ams, what you believe. Call in. Kailash, go ahead. Calling from Mumbai. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ravi Shivshankar, I'm just really appalled and aghast to watch the Aam Aadmi Party defending the indefensible. For your kind information, we were a part of the India Against Corruption. We were there fighting, and they were supposed to be a different party. I don't know what they're defending. It's a plain, simple logic. Even a third class student can understand that Mr. Kejriwal has used all his offices. Remember, when he became a chief minister, he traveled by a metro and he did all that drama of that blue. What happened to the metro drive? Have they forgotten the promises they made? We were
okay. Rahul also calling from Ahmedabad, Mr. Kailash.
Yeah.
Let's listen in to Rahul from Ahmedabad. Thank you for calling in, Mr. Kailash. Let's go straight across to Rahul from Ahmedabad. Let's hear more Indian citizens. Let's hear them out today. Yes. Rahul, if you can hear me, go ahead, sir. Express your point of view. Are you there? Okay, I don't quite know if Rahul is there from Ahmedabad. We're going to try and reconnect
Rahul,
to him.
meanwhile, let me show you another piece of conclusion that
Oh yeah, we can hear him. Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead with your view. Your biggest grudge. What is your biggest grudge, sir? Okay, Suvarna from Mumbai. Suvarna also calling in from Mumbai. Suvarna, go ahead.
How are you not?
Do we have Suvarna?
Yes, I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, sir. Very clearly.
My question to the panel is, why you not prosecuting him legally? Why cannot a suo motu question be taken legally against Mr. Kejriwal?
Look at the anger amongst the people. This is crookery of a. There you go. Yes, then it'll be witch hunting. You'll call it a witch hunt, wouldn't you, Mr. Srivastava? You'll say, oh, there's a witch hunt.
So I'm saying
accountability is a witch hunt.
I'm saying if he has done anything unlawful, the law will take care of that.
I'll tell you what the law says. I'll tell you. And let me just show you what the legal opinion says. Mr. Ravi Srivastava, look at the language of the additional Solicitor General.
5 cases till now.
Let me just read out. The file notings furnished to me. Look at what the Additional Solicitor General Sanjay Jain says. The file notings furnished to me clearly show that the concerned ministers have acted in wanton disregard of the transaction of business rules, the judgment of the Delhi High Court, as well as the various office memorandums issued pertaining to the appointment of special counsels, the machination of trying to usurp the powers of the finance department and the Honorable Lieutenant Governor clearly show blatant violation of established norms. Blatant violation of established norms.
Let me go across to Mr. Chaturvedi, who's called in. Mr. Chaturvedi, Arun actually from Nagpur. Go ahead, sir. Arun, go ahead.
Rahul,
go ahead, sir.
I find it so preposterous on behalf of people of this country that here is a person who was trying to prove that he's holier than thou. Hello?
There you go. Yes, we can hear you, sir. There you go. Someone who's trying to prove.
Now, because Kejriwal came as a whiff of fresh air, for all of us. And he was so preposterous about his honesty, about his being non-corrupt and everything, and all the things that are coming now today is a sham. It's so disgusting. And having lived in Delhi, I know how people of Delhi are feeling. At one time I was in Delhi, and you talk to them and they say, well, what did we do? And people feel that, Delhi people are fools. That's so unfortunate.
Can I come in, Rahul?
There you are.
People of Delhi has been cheated by Kejriwal and BJP both.
No, वो तो आप ठीक है, sir. आप political. I'm calling out the citizens of India today to express themselves.
आप ये
बेजॉन मिश्रा wants to say something. Responsible citizen.
दुख हो रहा है.
Unalloyed political voice. One second. Alumni sahab. What is the point of shouting? One second. It's the top trend right now. Kejriwal 4 crores. 1 minute, sir, please. I want more engagement. Excuse me. Alimuddin Khan, please. Alimuddin Khan, please. Please, gentlemen, please forgive us. Forgive us this shouting. Please stop shouting. Okay, I'm going to lower your faders. This is very upsetting. I'm going to lower your faders, gentlemen. I'm going to lower your faders because the one thing we don't want is cross shouting so that we lose sight of the real issue here. The real issue, and let's play out those graphics also. What is the real issue? The real issue is
Rahul,
that there has been an attempt, an underhand, one second sir, underhand attempt to try and fleece the Aam Aadmi using legal cover. And that legal cover today has been stripped away. Navika has been able to access documents that suggest that the attempt, very important, that the attempt was ultra-virus. So anyone who is today publicly speaking about defending the interests of the Aam Aadmi is actually misleading you. And I want actually more viewers to call in, because we exposed just about a week and a half ago, Navika, the largesse that had been given to Mr. Vadra's mother. And at that time, I remember people like Mr. Vadra came out and said, you've gone on a witch hunt against my mother. That's what he said. Now we are being told that Mr. Kejriwal, who is trying to fob off his bills on the public, we're also embarking on a witch hunt. I just want you to read out once again, for the benefit of those viewers out there, the operational part.
The operational part, Rahul, is very clear. This is what is the conclusion of the legal opinion. It's an 18-page legal opinion. In fact, a 13-page legal opinion that has been given by Sanjay Jain, Additional Solicitor General, and he has sent this legal opinion to the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. What does he say? He says, the file notings furnished to me clearly show that the concerned ministers have acted in wanton disregard of the transaction of business rules, the judgment of the Honorable High Court of Delhi, as well as the various office memorandums issued pertaining to the appointment of special counsels. The machination of trying to usurp the powers of the Finance Department and the Honorable LG, Lieutenant Governor, clearly show a blatant violation of established norms, rules, rulings, as well as Constitution of India.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? 1 minute, just 1 second. You know what, and I'm going to break the fourth angle. This will really shock our viewers. This will really shock our viewers.
The date is
1 second.
April 2007.
Look at the breaking news coming up now. 1 second. Mr. Srivastava, this is even more serious. 1 minute. It was 1 minute, Mr. Srivastava, please. This is even getting more serious now. Why is this more serious? Because these wanton disregards seem to have been coming from one individual. The officers of the government of Delhi had been telling Mr. Kejriwal and perhaps all his acolytes that this was wrong. These are the red flags. 26/12/2016, the Delhi Law Department, which comes under the Delhi government, under Kejriwal's government. What did it say? Office order dated 21/12/2016 didn't satisfy provisions laid down in the transaction of business rules 1993. So his own legal department is telling him, don't do this. Breaking part 2. Let's have a look. 31/12/2016, Secretary of the GAD, what does he say? Standing order did not satisfy the provisions laid down in the transaction of business rules 1993. Another official of his own government telling him, don't do it, please. Don't do it. 21/2/2017, what does the Delhi Law Department say? Once again, according to guidelines framed by Law Department, appointment of legal counsels on government panel could be made only by the LG. So, Mr. Kejriwal was not free to pick any old lawyer that he wanted to defend himself. And what did the AAP do? 1 second, Mr. Srivastava. Why do you always want to jump in when we are exposing something which means something? Please.
I'm listening.
What did AAP do? On 22nd February 2017, Minister GAD accorded sanction to appointment of Jethmalani. He was not allowed to do that by the order of 21/02/2017. Who could have empowered the Minister GAD, Navika, to actually overrule the Law Department?
Well, it's a very well thought out entire plot that was hatched between Arvind Kejriwal and his deputy Manish Sisodia. Manish Sisodia was the head of the Law Department. He was advised on several occasions by the Law Department that this cannot be allowed. Please send it to the Finance Department. The Finance Department said, please take the approval of the Lieutenant Governor. Yet every rule was set aside and Ram Jethmalani was hired and bills were raised to the tune of 3.85 to 4 crore.
Can you imagine that? It doesn't matter. He could not have actually could not have actually appointed this man. He could not have appointed this man. The rules state it very clearly.
Ladies and gentlemen, just one point that I want to show you. What is the conclusion? What is the conclusion?
One second.
What is the conclusion of the legal opinion? It says, in light of the above facts and circumstances, in my public money cannot be used to appoint special counsels to defend the Honorable Chief Minister for the statements made by him in his personal capacity, and the proposal to this effect should not be approved by the Lieutenant Governor. That is the statement made by the opinion here by Sanjay Jain, the additional Solicitor
There you go.
General.
Precisely. I've got 1 minute. I'm lower the faders, please. I've got just 1 minute on this show before Navika comes in to debate another story that we broke today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is India Upfront. Here, the facts rule. Please, 1 second, Mr. Bhatia, please. Just 1 second. I'm concluding this. I don't have the time, sir. Please, please, I beg you. I beg your indulgence. This is India Upfront. The facts rule on this show. We have stripped away the layers today, fact by fact, fact by fact. This is not made up. It's all documented. If anyone has a problem, they can take all the legal officers they want to court and dispute it. But as of today, there has been an infraction, a breach of public faith and a breach of public trust. And it is unacceptable in a democracy. It is completely unacceptable that it should have been done in the manner that it is being done. I believe that there is time for one last caller. I think Mr. Trivedi is calling in from Calcutta. Mr. Trivedi, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks, my friend. I have a question for Mr. Srivastava. So, are we here to pay for all the crimes of the politicians or public servants? And suppose Arvind Kejriwal is involved in some misappropriation case tomorrow, as is already. Are you going to pay for that also? If he has to let it fight, let him fight from his own money. If Srivastava is interested, let him give from his own pocket. Why we will pay for him?
You know, the citizen asked the best question.
Mr. Dwivedi, can I very humbly submit to you that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is not fighting for his personal image or personal character.
What else is
he is fighting for the corruption of Mr. Arun Jaitley, the defense
he is doing corruption himself.
of the country.
And Rahul, what is,
please, my humble request to you,
if Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is so honest and above board, if Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is so honest and above board, why does Mr. Arvind Kejriwal not allow Times Now crew to even come into his press conferences? He does not answer any single question raised by Times Now. Every time there is a press conference, it's only the Times Now camera and reporter who's kept out. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, if you're watching this broadcast, what would you have to say about this legal opinion? Will you still go ahead and fleece the taxpayer of Delhi of 4 crore of rupees to pay Ram Jethmalani or any other legal counsel that you may want to engage?
Was an attempt to freeload being made by Mr. Kejriwal? That's the question we ponder. At 10 p.m., we're going to debate this again on the News Hour at 10.